Hey guys, welcome back. So in this part of the course, we're going to move on to webcam capture. So let me show you what I've designed here. This is the webcam streaming form, okay? So essentially, what we'll have is the ability to choose a device on the remote computer and start up the camera and begin streaming it across from the client to our server and viewing it right here. We'll also have the ability to stop streaming, and we also have the ability to save the current snapshot that's inside of this image here. I thought we would take a little different take on it this time and just save snapshot only when we click a button, rather than opposed to what we did here with the auto capture and save frames, which automatically does it. So that way you guys can have both examples or whatever. So, all right, essentially, to get this done, you need to make sure that you've designed your form, kind of similar to mine. And if you're going to follow my code exactly, then you'll want to make sure it's exactly the same. So make sure you've got a label, make sure you've got a combo box, make sure you've got three buttons, a T-image component, and a status bar component, as well as a timer and a save dialog component. And that will be all you need. So this is actually a little bit of effort into this because you have to understand a little bit about ActiveX and direct show, at least the way I do it. There are many other different ways you can actually go about doing it. We have so many libraries for doing this stuff in Delphi, it's pretty unreal. There's even a component somewhere you can just drag and drop it and it literally does everything practically for you. However, I don't really like to use webcam components for the most part because webcam components are generally designed to be kind of like a one-off type deal. Like you drag it, drop it, use it on the form, and it's supposed to work locally for your own computer and stuff like that. Now, you could hide everything and use just the imagery that it pulls and just automatically send it across the socket if that's what you want to do. If you want to be super lazy, you could literally make everything I'm doing in like one line of code, literally. Activate the component and send it, like literally 2 lines of code, literally. But I'm going to show you guys a little bit different way of doing it today. We're going to be messing with ActiveX, COM objects, and like COM programming, and we're going to do some stuff with Direct Show 9, Microsoft Direct Show. So we have a little bit to go through, and I'll be honest with you guys, like literally 95% of all the program code today will not be taking place on the server. So it won't be on this project at all. It'll be taking place on the client. Because let's face it, on your remote webcam thing here, you're going to be sending a command to the client for him to give you his webcam list and also him to give you the imagery for his webcam as it gets sampled through, as you capture multiple frames from his or her webcam, right? So essentially, the only thing that you need to be concerned about doing is creating your webcam form where you can control remote clients and their webcams and stuff here. But you also need to take the same topology, the same logic that we've been doing this whole time. And just so you'll know, I did take the liberty of having AI run through our code and comment it for us properly. It took me about 30 minutes to have to read through this. I tried to make sure that everything is exactly up to par. So hopefully you guys won't have to be confused anymore about a lot of stuff in here, because I did have it pretty scrambled. So everything has its own, comment now, pretty much for the most part, and you guys should be able to understand literally what I'm doing, for everything here. So guys, we talked about cloning forms in the previous videos, and if you remember, clone T-Form 2 and T-Form 4 were for the task manager and the remote desktop. Well, all you're going to do is take the same logic, copy and paste, and just make it remote webcam forms, okay? So the webcam form in my case was T-Form 3, okay? And that's all you're doing. This is literally all you're doing, guys. You're going to do the same logic, everything that you've done in the past for the task manager, the remote desktop, you're doing the same damn thing. for remote webcam. Okay, so make sure you scroll through your code and make sure every single place where you mess with remote task manager forms and remote desktop forms, you're going to copy and paste literally the same damn thing. So here, let me scroll down through this real quick, and I'll show you everything you have to add. So just real quick. So you have to add on form create, you have to add remote webcam forms to the T-dictionary cardinal tform3.create. Same thing as you did before with these 2 lines of code, guys. Same fucking shit. Down below, you want to make sure whenever you're closing out form destroy, you want to make sure to free the webcams right here, all the webcam clones. That's it. Then you want to make sure to do the same thing whenever a socket disconnects. You want to make sure to free any cloned forms that happen to be open, and free the close out of the remote webcam form, and free any memory up there where you need to. For the remote webcam form, same as you did above for the same code for these guys, okay? Same damn thing. I feel like a parrot. I'm repeating this shit. So let me scroll down some more. There's some other places you want to add. Again, we're going to be adding these later, so I'll tell you what, guys, I'll go over all this stuff later. That's pretty much all you have to add, and then we're ready to go ahead and start this stuff up. So let me scroll down to the bottom. Also, what you'll want to do is the same thing for W1 click. So like here, for example, when you click on this, you remember how we did the desktop capture and the task manager? So here, I'll double click on the task manager thing. So you see all this code right here for the whole procedure of T1 click. You'll just copy that and you'll paste it, or well, you'll take that from the variable down to the end here, copy it, paste it somewhere underneath where you do the webcam capture. So you would just copy it here and paste it all right here, and then change all your variables up to match the newly created stuff that you've done. In my case, I put W1 click, and this is the correct code. So I'm just saying there's the current client, there's the remote webcam form, which is a tform3. If we didn't select anyone, don't do anything. Clone them, create them, open them, and then send over this command to get their list of webcam devices. That's all you're doing. It's basically the same freaking thing. Same logic as Get Task Manager. Be the perfect example for you to just copy and paste from, okay? We're just doing the same shit, guys. Same stuff. All right, so now that we're all caught up, all right? So once you guys have got the form cloning done, and you should be able to copy and paste that lickety-lickety freaking split. Same thing we've done in the past. Then you need to design this form. Make sure that you have the webcam streaming form fully designed, okay? So you've got 3 buttons, a combo box, a label, maybe even a panel behind it so you can line them up properly, a T-image component where you're going to display the imagery. Also, make sure that the T-image here is set to stretch true. That way, at least it'll stretch the image if you don't want it to be proportional. I know it might stretch some webcams out, but we're going to hard code a resolution in that is going to be kind of low. So, well, you know, it might look a little fat and ugly, but hey, at least it works, right? So then you're going to need a status bar. After you're done with that, we're going to pop over to the client. So let's get this party started, boys. I also took the liberty of going through all the code on the client as well, and everything is commented, okay? All right, so number one thing that we need to get done right now on your end is make sure that you add these 2 things to the uses, your uses clause, okay? So at the top of your code, you should already have zlib, JPEG, all this bullshit should already be added by default practically. And you're gonna add ActiveX, comma, direct show, semicolon, whatever, to end that out. So you're gonna have ActiveX and direct show 9. You're gonna add those 2 to your uses clause. Now I'm gonna explain why you're gonna add these to your uses clause, because we're gonna be using some ActiveX imports, and we're also gonna be using direct show 9. Both of these are natively available in just about every single version of Microsoft Windows since XP. So they don't have any real dependencies is what I'm getting at. So here is the deal. Basically, let me go ahead and open this up where you can see it. This is a little chart that I made to kind of display what we'll be doing today. Now, don't be confused. I'm going to walk you through this. So we're going to have a webcam source, okay? So this will be your webcam, the one that you have plugged into your computer, okay? Now, in order to interface with webcams, You basically have three options. Number one, so option number one, you can download a library which already does everything for you. And what I mean by that is like a component like here. Like I actually have a lot of cam stuff. Like I have a camera. CN Pack actually has a CN camera eye. You know, honestly, I've never given a real look into this, to be honest with you. But in any case, we do have a lot of different components for doing stuff like that. So you can do it, like I said, one of three ways. Number one, using components. Number two, using libraries. And number three, going, like I said, balls to the walls deep and doing it yourself. Good luck with that, because that would take a lot of time. So since we're not going to opt for a component, we're going to have to actually opt for number two, which is to use a library that is already integrated into your operating system, something that's natively there. You know what I'm trying to say? So in this, what I've done is I've opted to use ActiveX and COM with DirectShow 9. So if you don't know anything about ActiveX or DirectShow 9, more specifically DirectShow 9 more than anything, you're going to need to go learn about it some. So you can do that by simply reading up on it at the MSDN website. That's where we're going to be making our little interface to be able to like grab frames and all this stuff and set up the webcam. I'll do my best to try to guide you through each step of this. I'll try to do my best to explain. But for now, all I want you guys to do is make sure that you've added the ActiveX and the DirectShow 9, like I said, to your uses statement, okay? And that's on the client. So next, we're going to have to define our sample interface, which, like I just showed you, this code I selected down here. This is the iSample grabber interface that we've created. This is a container for this global unique identifier that we've created here for our webcam frames and stuff. And each of these functions is inside DirectShow. Okay. So this is basically more or less functions to like APIs that Microsoft really has already developed for you to be able to interface with imaging devices, okay? So go ahead and make sure that you look through all this carefully. Make sure you guys add all of it to your code. Again, you guys don't have to sit here and write this out on video. The source code samples for this project will be included in the video description. So if you want, you can just download it and then just copy it from there to your own project that you're making like this. Just copy and paste. But we're going to have to go through all this stuff. So just kind of bear with me for a bit, because we do have a little ways to go. So once you've got your two uses statements added and your sample information, like your interface added for this sample grabber thing that we're going to be dealing with later, we're going to have to go ahead and add a couple of global variables. So basically down below in your declarations where you have private and public, we're going to end up going to private, and we are going to have to add all of these webcam related things that we're going to be doing. So we have webcam active as a Boolean. We have the current the camera index that we're going to be streaming from, which is an index, because again, computers count from 0. So if you have one camera installed, that's going to be 0. If you have two cameras installed, then it would be 0 and 1. You get the point, right, guys? And then you have GB, which is going to be our DirectShow graph builder. Okay, that's why it's called GB. So I tried to name these as closely as possible to like stuff that it's supposed to be named after inside of the DirectShow libraries. I'll be giving a link to this stuff in the description, guys, so make sure you look at that. If you don't know what DirectShow is and you don't know anything about ActiveX or COM programming, you can go onto the MSDN website and read up on it, and it will really help you a lot. I had to do a ton of reading just to figure all this crap out. But in any case, we also want to create some filters. So we have these filters here for all the stuff that resides inside of DirectShow while it's trying to like render stuff from your camera actively. And we're going to talk more on that later because cameras are actually kind of a really kind of a weird thing. They actually come in kind of upside down, if you will. It's kind of weird. I had to figure that shit out too. And then you have to like reverse order the image and like flip it over. It's really weird. Like it's really weird. But I've written some code down below that does just that. And then we have our sample grabber for frame access and our media control interface for stream control. Okay, so just all you got to know, all of this is in Direct Show and ActiveX. You have to add it in order to be able to do what we're going to do, because we do not have, let me explain this to you guys. We have a form, but I wrote this code. Every bit of this code that we're going through right now, every single bit of it is assuming that you're not a graphical interface based application. In other words, this code that I'm showing you is actually valid for console-based applications, which makes it really fucking cool, because you guys will be able to stream from the webcam with or without a graphical interface on the client side. Pretty cool, huh? Because we're actually going to kind of create our own little image in memory, and we're going to put it on that. It's going to be really cool stuff, guys. So in any case, you should have all of this stuff and whatnot. So we're going to have to create a few different methods here for being able to grab the imagery and the available cameras. So if you'll notice, we do have right here, starting with our webcam capture methods, we have a function which we're going to use to grab all the cameras into a T-string list. Okay, you got me, guys? So we're going to grab all of our cameras by their friendly name. Now, what does that mean? It means like when you plug a camera in, Microsoft Windows identifies it with like global unique identifiers. But the thing is, they also have underlying information that you can tap into. So like, for example, my webcam is actually a Logitech 920 or whatever it is Pro. So that's the friendly name. The friendly name of the webcam is its actual English or in your native language's name to be able to pull that and show it up on screen, okay? So I actually have two webcams installed, technically speaking. One is a hardware cam, which is an actual, IP camera, like it's an actual webcam. And then the other is software. And what I mean by software, it's NVIDIA Broadcast, because NVIDIA Broadcast installs a driver which acts as a webcam filter. So, like I said, we're going to have a function to get all available cameras into a T-string list. We're going to have a procedure to send that camera list over to the server. We're going to have the ability to start the webcam capture, which is a function which will return true if we're actually able to start the webcam via its index that we're going to ask for from the server side. And then we're going to we are going to have a procedure to stop the webcam capture, which means stop capturing frames, right? And then we're going to have the ability to capture the current frame and send it. Okay, now what does this mean? It's kind of oh man, I don't know how I can explain this to you guys. I'll tell you what, let me grab paint real fast. I know this is terrible, I hate to blind you, but like, let's say that this is your webcam, and oh god, that's like an awful looking webcam, but whatever. That's your webcam, and it's watching you, right? So we're inside memory here, and our program's running, and the webcam is capturing the whole time our program runs, okay? So this line represents a straight image. It's just a constant, like, it's always streaming. Like if you're waving to people, and blah, blah, it's capturing you. But we want to reach into this line and grab this one photo, this one quick image from this millisecond, 1 ms. Every one of these could be 1,000,000 milliseconds. You see what I'm saying? So like there's an image for every time I put a line, there's a new image here. We want to reach into the cookie jar and pull just that frame and throw it over to somebody else's computer. Throw it over to somebody else's computer. Over and 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 over. You see? Now, you could capture literally every single frame if you truly wanted to. if you created code that was so fast and so accurate and just absolutely perfected, you know, with like memory shit and everything, you could stream almost real time, absolutely. And you could do even better by doing what I told you in the past. Remember how we did the desktop thing like this, and I told you only send the dirty or changed pixels that actually did bother to change on the screen. Only send that, and you're done. The same applies for webcam, believe it or not, as well. Because you could take like two pictures, like these two pictures, you could say, hey, there's a picture here of a guy, it looks like he's a guy on his webcam and he's waving to people. And then you could take this image here and you could say, oh, he moved his head over here to the left. So we only need to remove these, send only that block, and send only this new block where he moved. By sending only this one, and only the changed pixels, and on your end changing those pixels only to the changed ones and putting the others back to the way it needs to go on that same image, it's literally real-time streaming. I mean literally, like absolute real-time streaming. So again, in this sample of actually changing and sending dirty regions, we're not doing it. We're not going all out because we have it hard-coded to a very low resolution here, and streaming, like, we're literally going to get a lot of frames, okay? Like, we're going to get, like, amazing real-time, like, it's going to look like it's real-time, like, dead serious, okay? So there's no reason for us to go the extra mile and actually create, you know, a checksum on the pixels and all that, and only send over the dirty regions. So, okay, so guys, this is it, okay? This is literally it. This is how simple it is, okay? You just get your cameras, send the cameras, the list of cameras to the server, so that the server can say, oh, Jimmy only has 1, 2, 3 cameras, and you can choose, and then you can start capturing. And when you start capturing, you're sending a command to Jimmy saying, hey, Jimmy, can you give me this camera and, like, start capturing, please? Because I want to see it. You know, because I'm a pervert. I'm just kidding, guys. But you get the point. So then it says you want to start webcam capture, stop webcam capture. So you have the ability to start the webcam capture based on a camera's index of their installed index of the driver, and then you want to be able to stop the webcam, and you want to be able to send the webcam frames over to the server so we can plop them right there. So that's that. Down below, we're going to have to start programming these bad boys in. The first one is get available cameras. So let's just start right here. So this, all of these things, like every single bit of this is all related to, I think these moniker things, these are ActiveX, but the rest of them are potentially tied in to direct show, okay? Because we have to create a string list for all of the available cameras. We have to co-create the instance of this system device enumerator. We have to then go through and say, create this enumerator specifically for video input devices only. So if I were to open Device Manager, it's basically saying, look, don't fuck with any of this trash, okay? All we give a shit about is going into oh gosh, if I can find it here, guys. It is not this, but it is the, good Lord, where is it? Oh, you know what? I don't think I have it plugged in. Hang on, guys. Let me, just bear with me just a sec here. I gotta unplug something real quick. I gotta plug back in my webcam. I wrote this code yesterday and I was fucking around with it and forgot to replug my camera back in. Now it'll actually have the section I'm looking for, which is, let's take a peek here, portable imaging devices. Yay, there it is. So we're only looking to enumerate these devices on the system, right? And if I go to properties here, you can see that I think, where is that thing at? I thought it actually showed these things in here, the little comm holders, but I guess not. Oh well, whatever. So you get the point. It only loops through these video device category enumeration. So it's only going to loop for image capture devices only. So we're going to say the enumon is, if it's nil, then we're going to exit because it didn't find any cameras installed or plugged in. It's an empty list. However, if we're able to call next, so while we're enumerating and we're going next by one moniker at fetched is okay, then it finds that. We're going to say if it succeeded in finding something, we're going to bind to the storage and we're going to read out the prop bag's read functionality. We're going to read its friendly name and we're going to place that in here. So then we're going to return the result and add that to our result list. So we're going to say result.add because the result, if you remember, is a t-string list. So if I call result.add, we're adding its friendly name to our cam names list, which is an OLE variant. The cam name from the OLE variant, excuse me, to our t-string list. Now, if there's an exception, we just free the result and result equals nil. So that's that, guys. So this whole thing, all it does is go to your device manager, basically loop through and get the friendly names of your webcams that you have installed on Microsoft Windows. That's it. Once we've done that, we need to move on to the next section, which is creating a method for start the webcam. So let's go back up here just real quick, and let's look for start webcam capture. So we'll go here. So this again, and I put a description here. So this can kind of help you to understand. So this builds a direct show filter graph to capture video frames from the selected camera and prepare them for transmission. Uses a sample grabber filter to access raw video frames from the webcam in RGB 24 format, which is 24-bit color. So we could change this, by the way. This does not have to be essentially like this. It could be any other bit rate we want. We can change bit rates. You can change the hard-coded values that I have down here, which I do think it is like 420 by something, if I do remember correctly. I definitely send it in a very low resolution. I think it's on the send. It's on the send functionality. I'm getting far too ahead of myself here, boys. But in any case, you will ensure that the webcam is active, because if the webcam is already active, we need to stop the webcam capture immediately. Okay, so we're gonna, because we're starting the webcam. If it's already started, then we need to go ahead and stop it and restart it, because the user may have selected a different camera to send in the first place. You kind of get me on that one, guys? And if you send a different camera, potentially you could be starting on something that it may already be started, and in that case we want to make sure it's not 100%, so we don't allow it. We stop webcam capture. And then we set up all of our stuff. So we're creating all of this direct show stuff, okay, to be able to like grab the imagery, the frames directly coming from the webcam. This, guys, this is just a whole ton of direct show stuff. And I'll try to explain it the best I can, but figuring out all this took like a long time ago. I pulled this from like an old project from like 4 years ago. It drove me nuts, like going through all this crap. Usually what I would do is cheap out and get a really good library to do it for you. But this is literally just using direct show, like raw, like directly. There's a couple of other things you guys can look into. Here, let me go ahead and bring that up, as a matter of fact. V-samples, V-frames, Delphi. If you want to cheap out and have something a little more simplified for yourself, oh, look, my video is on the first on Google. But you want to do like from this with Medium. This is a really good article, and there's actually a better article somewhere else. I'll have to find that for you. I think it's on Delphi Basics or something like that. But on this, you can download this gentleman's project, and inside of his project, you can actually see these files called vframes.pass and vsamples.pass. These two files right here, if you import them into your project, it becomes much easier to do this type of stuff. I'm actually giving you kind of a balls to the walls technique using direct show to be able to do all this. So we're basically, what we're doing is manually creating a filter and connecting the graph builder to all this stuff and being able to pipe in the imagery from the webcam directly. So we're just basically checking, we're making it all in RAM. We're saying, look, create the filter, check if there's a device available. If there's not a device available, then we're going to say, no, you can't do this. There's nothing was found. You have to exit. The current index is 0. So find the camera with the specified index. So what we're saying is camera index starts at 0. While we're calling next by 1 to that moniker, we're trying to find the camera, if there is a camera that we can bind to at that index, this index. So if there is one available, then we're going to set the value to true, right? And we're going to say that the webcam is active once we run that moniker. So you guys will just have to kind of read through it, okay? Try to understand what it's doing. There's really not an easy way to explain a lot of this because, believe it or not, a lot of this is system code that was really documented by Microsoft. So what you're going to want to really do is go read up on ActiveX and Direct Show, specifically Direct Show 9 is what I'm using to do all of this, okay? So, to break it down a little bit further, we're adding filter grab, so that we can be able to grab imagery. We are setting up the major and subtypes. We're setting up one shot to false because we want it to be continuous capture. You guys can also put this to true if you did want to do just a simple grab frame or something and then have them send it back over. You could totally do that. But that's pretty much it, guys. You'll just come down through here and you just want to copy my code literally line per line and read through it and understand exactly what you're doing, okay? So we're just connecting up all of our imagery-based stuff. We're setting the webcam variable to say, yes, it's active. The current camera index is our current camera index that did work up here. And that is that. We're also enabling the webcam timer, and we're executing this command to send over to the server, and then we're exiting, okay? Otherwise, we're going to move to the next camera in the enumeration if none of this worked, because obviously we're needing another camera to work. We probably selected another camera, right? Okay, and then if anything goes wrong, we are sending an error over the socket saying, hey, we didn't find any camera, right? All right, so guys, I know that's a lot to take in. That Direct Show 9 stuff, oh my God, you guys have no idea. That fucking drove me nuts for half a year. So other than that, let's proceed to the next one, which is going to be stop webcam capture. So let's look at let us look at that real fast. So let's control stop webcam capture. Here we are. And on this one, we're basically just stating that if not webcam active, then exit. Because again, if it's already stopped, if the webcam is already active or not active, then we can just exit because we don't have to stop something that's already stopped, right? So then we're saying that the webcam timer is also disabled because remember we have this webcam timer on here that I've added. So every time that ticks, it's going to request a capture and send the frame over the socket. So back to the stop webcam capture here, guys. So again, we disable that because we're going to stop sending. Then we're going to come down and say that if our moniker thing or whatever it is assigned, we're going to stop it. And I think this is our micro capture or whatever it is, like the thing that's constantly looping and getting camera images, if you will. The thing I was telling you earlier in Paint, you have to reach into the cookie jar and grab it and keep grabbing it over and over and over. And if you want to send all frames, you have to do it by the millisecond. So while that thing's running, it's constantly keeping your webcam active. So we want to stop that. And at the bottom, we're just turning everything to nil. We're just freeing our memory, okay? And we're also setting webcam active to false because we turned it off. Let's face it, we stopped capturing, right? And then we're going to send the execute command over the socket saying, yeah, we stopped. We're not doing it anymore. We're not sending you anything else, right? And that's it. So now that we've gone through all of that, and the timer will tick, and the timer ticks at an interval of 100 milliseconds. So we should be getting a frame every 100 milliseconds. Okay, so that's actually pretty fast speed. And it's going to say that if the webcam active, then, only if the webcam is active, then we're going to capture and send a webcam frame over the socket to the server. That's it. All right, so once you get past the initial scare of having to deal with ActiveX and Direct-Show 9 in this code that I've provided you guys, and guys, like I said, you can just copy and paste. Just copy and paste the code, read through it. I tried to comment as best I could. I allowed AI to do it, and I read through it, and honestly, I don't really think too much more could be added. I think it looks pretty good. So it's decent enough to go through and understand. I tried to get it to go a little more in depth on some of it. I wrote myself because you just can't trust AI. It was getting it wrong like each time, and it was slowing me down. And I'm like, no, I don't want this. This is not for sets of callback or whatever. This is not for that. But I did comment some of it myself. I'm sure you guys can tell the difference between my comments and the AI comments. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So now on the server, you're gonna want to be able to make sure that your form is designed like mine. So we have start camera. So this is actually going to send start capture, and the index, integer to string, the index of the combo box of image devices that you selected from right here. So because remember, when you run this, when you run the rat and you click on them on the webcam capture, keep in mind that you're sending this command, list webcam devices, to them. So on them, they're going to get that, right? So list webcam devices. You see that? So we're going to create another little queued thread thing here for our main thread to execute when it gets a chance. And we're going to say, send the camera list. Well, what does that do? We already went over this, right, guys? Because we're saying, look, just take the camera as a t-string list and an I for an integer for our localized loop. And we're going to say cameras is equal to get available cameras. That's the code we went through, right? So we're going to get our cameras. If our cameras list is not nil and our cameras.count is greater than 0, which, that would be like if there was a 0, it would still be greater, then that means that we're going to execute this webcam count. And we're going to send over the count of how many there are. And we're also going to send each camera's details individually. Now, honestly, we could remove this. I don't really think it's necessary to send the count. That's kind of stupid, honestly. But I was thinking about using it later on. So we'll leave it for now, because I was going to make a little counter down here. Like I was going to add a little panel to say how many webcams there are. So we're not doing it in this video. I might do it later, because guys, we have a long way to go. This rat is so far from being finished, it's unreal, and we've just got a long way to go. You know what I mean? So like I said, though, we send this over to the client when you open up a cloned window to get their webcam stuff. We take their cameras and we loop through them, and here's the format we're sending at. Okay, we're sending the webcam device, the index it's at, and its name. Okay, so we're sending webcam device. Then because this is going to be a command that we receive on the server to add the webcams to this combo box. Okay, and then we're sending over into string I, which is the index that camera is actually responsible at, right? And then we're sending that camera's name. So plus cameras and the one we're currently looped over's name, okay? And false at the end because we're not expecting an async result, or a synchronous result rather. Okay, and then other than that, we're just gonna put webcam count as 0. If nothing was found and there's nothing in our t-string list after returning get available cameras, we're just going to say webcam count is 0, meaning we don't have any cameras, okay? And if we get this on the server with a 0 in it, then obviously nothing will be here, okay? And that's that. So now that we understand that, let's try to stick with the flow here, okay, guys? So on that, let's go back to the main server. I'm going to go back to the code because we are going to research what this means whenever we get these commands. So the command is webcam count. So let's go ahead and see if I had actually written this right here. So you see how like webcam count does this. So we're going to say that webcam params is going to be copy this params from 0 to the length of params. Params is what we receive. If you guys remember through all the code we've done, params are just the commands that we're receiving in from the socket from the opposite endpoint. Okay. So what I've done here is create a T-thread queue to let the main thread process all of this whenever as soon as it's available. I'm saying user data is the user data, client ID is a cardinal. Guys, it's the same old shit, the same shit you've been doing the whole damn time. All you do is copy the queue thread and throw it down here. It's literally the same thing for everything. And all we're going to be doing is looking for the remote webcams form, the cloned one for this client ID. And if we find it, we're going to tap into him and we're going to clear out his or her combo box. So we're basically just clearing this out because we're getting ready to refresh all of their devices. You follow me? So we're going to get the count of the webcams and we're going to say webcam count is equal to string to int defined as from position 1 of the webcam params. And then we're going, so webcam count, it literally becomes the number, like the string to integer, because we sent it over as webcam count and 0 as a string. So we turn this from string to integer on this end and say, this is how many webcams we have on this client person. This is how many they sent over to us, like however many they got installed, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? Then we're going to say, if the webcam count is 0, then we're going to have an automated fashionable way to just throw in here and say, look, we're going to say, look, they don't have any freaking webcams installed. Sorry, can't help you. You know, we're doing that. Okay. So if they have no webcams installed, we're going to say the status strip, the status bar simple text will say no webcam devices found on the client. And that's what we have right down here. See how it says status not capturing? It'll say, sorry, there weren't any found. That's all it's going to do. Okay. You follow me, guys? Super easy stuff. And then we're going to have the item index equal to 0 after we add no devices available up here as well on this combo box. That way you won't be able to select anything because there's nothing to select. They don't have a webcam, right? So now then that we've done all of that, we can go back, and otherwise we're going to format this with a %D, and we're going to say in the status bar simple text will become equal to this format for the webcam count. So it'll say found this number of webcam devices. Okay, so right down here, if there were webcams found on the remote client, it would tell you how many there are right here. Okay. So that is how that actually works. And then that's pretty much it. It just breaks out of the loop once it finds the webcam count. Okay, and that's all this command is for. Okay, that's literally it. Now the next command we're going to talk about is webcam device, because now look, we already got the webcam count. Next flows in all of their devices that they're going to be flowing into us. Like they're going to, you know, because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to get their webcam list and shoot it over to us so we can see which webcams we can screw with, right? So it's going to say, for our webcam params are equal to copy params, blah, blah, blah. We're doing the same thing, guys, same shit. It's to find the clone form, okay? So all we're doing is saying user data is a user connected data, client ID is a cardinal, and webcam form is the form that's cloned, supposedly of type T-form3 in this case, webcam form. We're going to loop through all of our connected users, get the user data, pipe into it, get the line, and check the client ID and pull it out. And then we're going to check if we have a cloned form with that client ID. Same shit, bro. Same stuff, guys. You get this. And then we're going to set, if the length of the params is greater than 3, greater than or equal to 3, then we're going to proceed doing our stuff. And we're going to say webcam form, the one that was cloned that we're currently locked onto, which should be this one for the specific person you're messing with, right? It's going to go to the combo box devices and add an item from webcam param2. So it's literally going to just like here, it's going to throw in their webcam name right there on that component. Okay. So for each time that command comes in, it goes boom, 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 and throws it in there instantly in the blink of a human eye, right? Maybe even faster than that, of course. So then it comes down and it says that if the webcam form, the current cloned form that you're messing with, device's item index is less than 0, then it automatically sets the default value of item index to 0. Guys, that's just a simple fancy way of putting like, okay, if you threw a bunch of webcam devices into this component, obviously you would want to select the first fucking thing that came in, right? Follow me so far? So it automatically sets the index to 0. That way a default camera is automatically selected if there was a camera thrown into this in the first place. You get me? Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to enable the user interface controls for the webcam operations. Now what that means is it's going to enable the combo box, which is obviously where all of these things are stored, all the webcam things, right? So you can click on it and it'll be enabled to true. And we're also going to enable the button start. That means that it's going to enable this button so you can click it and send the command start capture. Because with this button disabled, you can't do shit, right? All right, so that's all there is to it, guys. And then you're going to break out of the loop. That's it. Done. Now, we also have webcam started and webcam stop. So let's say that you click this button and you send start capture over to the client. That means that any second now on this form, you're going to start receiving imagery. So you start camera, and then that sends the command over to the client. They start the capture, okay? And as soon as they do start capturing, they're going to send back a thing saying, hey, we started capturing. So here, let me see if I can go back up here. Just come back over here, copy that command, and go back to the client and do a Control FV. We'll find it real fast. Okay, so once we find it, we're going to change our image index over to the one we needed that we got from ourselves. And we're going to start webcam capturing at that camera index, the one that we sent over, right here. Okay, so if we're asking for permission to view their first cam, second cam, third cam, whatever, they open that camera up with this, and that's it. Now the default camera is 0. So if you accidentally select something that maybe they unplugged and it didn't update in time or something maybe, then I have a fallback functionality for that. So if the selected camera that you chose doesn't work, we have an else statement saying, hey, look, if this one didn't work and there was an error, just throw it back to the default camera just to see if that will like help out. You know what I mean? All right, so that is pretty much that. And on this, the start webcam capture and the camera index, we know that that starts it on up and that starts up the timer. The timer ticks every 100 milliseconds, and every time it does, it sends a frame, sends a frame, sends a frame. You see what I'm getting at there, boys? It does this procedure every 100 milliseconds. Boom, 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 boom. And it sends a webcam frame over in 640 by 480 resolution, which is basically just standard VGA. You guys are more than welcome to change these values, okay, if it will work with your webcam. There's a better way to find if your webcam or anyone else's webcam actually natively supports these resolutions at this 24 bit rate. You can read up on the Direct Show 9, if you will, and make yourself a function to return, or maybe even a procedure or whatever, to be able to show you what these webcams actually do support. If you want to try that on your own, that's great. For this example, I'm just leaving it at 640 by 480. My reasoning behind doing this is I think that more cameras will be we'll have more supported cameras by keeping it at a low ratio like this, and on the PF 24-bit for the pixel format. Like I said, my goal is just to try to like, if I hand you some code, I want you to be able to like run it with nearly every webcam in the world. You know what I mean? And to me, 640 by 480 at 24-bit should be widely supported, especially in 2025. You know what I mean? So basically, this capture and send webcam frame, what it does is it creates a buffer of bytes where we're going to be pulling in the image. And I want to try to explain this to you. We have a bitmap, a JPEG, memory streams for a compressed memory stream and memory stream. We have compressed data as bytes, and we have a compression stream where we're going to be using zlib to compress the data before we send it. So we're saying, basically we're setting ourselves up and we're saying, look, if the webcam is not active or not assigned, then exit, because obviously we're not doing anything. Otherwise, other than that, we're going to have to tap into, and here, let me show you this. We're going to have to tap into our sample grabber thing. Our sample grabber taps into these graphs and this direct show stuff and is able to pull imagery from it, which we can then take the raw buffer of that image, convert it to a bitmap to a JPEG and send it. Or you could even take the raw buffer itself and send it and skip bitmap and JPEG. You really don't have to do this. It's just extra CPU cycles. But as long as you understand that the sample grabber is responsible for interfacing with direct show, the sample grabber that we have created at the top of the code, it's able to look at and pull data in real time from direct show, like as it's actively capturing frames from your webcam. And you can convert that data to either the raw buffer that it throws out to you. You can convert that to any data type you want. You can do anything you want with it. Stream it in real time over UDP for all I care. You can literally do anything you wish. I'm choosing to go ahead and convert it to a bitmap, to a JPEG, and send it. Why I did the JPEG, I have no idea. I probably was tired when I wrote this shit. Shouldn't have done it. Should have just sent the raw buffer over, converted it to a bitmap on the server. But here's the thing. Since this is a YouTube video, I thought, well, you know, it might actually be better to just do all the processing on the client. That way I don't have to code on both projects for the most part, because the only thing we've had to do so far on the server is make the clone form, like be able to, you know, add in the T dictionary for the cloned forms and whatnot. And then after that, all we had to do was design the webcam streaming form and put the buttons on here and have it send data over, and that's it. That's all we had to do. If I would have had to have done extra steps, I would have had to receive the image and also converted it from the raw buffer stream of T bytes that we have incoming from the socket and convert that to a bitmap to a JPEG and then throw it down on here. Why do that when I can just make the client convert it and do it all, right? Okay, so anyway, so we set our buffer size to 0. We're going to say if it failed to get the current buffer, which means it failed to get the data, we're going to exit. If it did succeed, we're going to set the length of our buffer to the entirety of our buffer size that we just pulled from the current imagery coming from the webcam. And then we're going to simply say if we fail to get that current buffer, we exit. Otherwise, we're going to create a bitmap, create a JPEG, create a memory stream, create a compressed memory stream, and then we're going to come down and say, look, this is going to be a bitmap of this standard VGA width and height. We are now going to copy the raw frame data from the webcam, directly from the webcam, in a bottom-up format. And this is the part that kind of like drove me mad for a bit. I actually had this shit showing up really weird at one point. So apparently, you have to flip the imagery that comes in from a camera because, believe it or not, it's bottom up, not top down. It's kind of like it's flipped. It's like weird. It's like backwards, upside down type shit. It's fucking hilarious, right? So you have to come up with your own way to like do this. So what I did is I moved the buffer y times 1920, and I did bitmap scanline 479 minus y, which this is actually basically saying 480, just so you know, to that pointer type of 1920. So here's the thing, guys. Let me pull this open because I really gotta make sure that you understand kind of what's going on a little bit. So let's say that this is just a square screen where your webcam image shows up, okay? So if I was like, the image itself actually comes in from like down here, I think. And I could be wrong on this. Somebody who knows something about this image type stuff and audio, video type shit, please try to help me explain this better. But the image comes up from bottom up, and it's upside down. Like also, it's like it's backwards. You know what I mean? You have to flip it. Okay, like it's like the hardware takes it in a specific way, but in software you have to like take the image and flip it. Okay, so like it comes up like this, and it keeps bringing it in, and it's much faster than me. Obviously, it fills up the whole damn thing. I mean, it just goes la da 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 and fills it up with an image. You have to flip that image over, like whoop, and then it becomes your actual final image of whatever you had going on. Like this is the perfect image right here. This is a good image. But the bits and stuff, it comes in by scanline. Now, what is scanline, you ask? Okay, when I type bitmap scanline, I'm saying like literally, so you know, like all these little slashes are little pixels, okay? And you see how they're all like lined up, like they're supposed to be in a perfect line, like that. This is literally like 1 out of 80 billion lines of pixels that it has to scan. And it scans the whole line. And then it scans the whole next line. And then it scans the whole next line. I mean, guys, it has to do this all the way up the image by scanlining all the way. It's freaking nuts. And once you have it all, you flip it into this image. To actually show you in reverse order what the image would have actually looked like on your screen. I really hope I'm explaining this okay. If anybody can explain better, please do. But that's essentially it. So, yeah. And I actually believe I'm explaining this incorrectly. Guys, this is incorrect. This is not correct. No. We're not flipping the image like that. We're flipping the image like from this up to this. It's flipping over. It's flipping. It's flipping. What is that? Horizontal? No, vertically. It's vertically flipping it, guys. Not horizontally. It doesn't go like this. It doesn't flip like a book. Okay. Don't think of it like that. It's vertically flipping. Okay. So I wish I could draw. It goes up and then up to this. If you kind of get my drift, right? So we're flipping it over. Vertically, okay? And the reason for that is because webcam data comes in bottom up formatted. You kind of get that? I really hope I'm explaining that right. Webcam frames come in bottom up format. So from bottom to top, okay? And then you flip it vertically, and it becomes the actual reflected image that you're trying to actually look at. So a better way to explain the code that I just kind of went over is that this shit right here, basically what it's doing is that it's copying every single row of pixels that I just showed you guys image, like with that image, like every single line of pixels and whatever. It's copying every single row of pixels, all that data from our buffer into a bitmap. Okay, that's basically all that. This is all this actually does. Okay, so now that we have that, okay, we come down and we convert to a JPEG. So we're going to go ahead and convert our bitmap to a JPEG by simply stating our JPEG image needs to be assigned the bitmap. That's it. It's converted immediately. We're going to compress that quality down to 50. And I did this just for shits and gigs. We might fuck around with it and see if it looks better or worse, depending on if we change this from like 20, 30, whatever. We might try that later, but we're going to save the JPEG to the stream of memory stream. We're going to set our stream position to 0 and get ready to compress it and send it. So now we're going to compress that stream using zlib compression, and we're going to toss that into our compressed memory stream. Copy the JPEG data through the compression stream. So we're saying compression stream dot copy from memory stream to memory stream size, to the full size of our memory stream. And then we're going to free the compression stream. The compressed memory stream position becomes 0. We're going to set the length of the compressed data to the entirety of our compressed memory stream size, read the buffer into the compressed memory stream from the compressed data point 0 all the way up, or I should say byte 0 all the way up to the entirety of its size. And then we're going to throw it over the socket. Okay, so we're going to say execute command webcam. Here's a webcam frame, which is an image, right? And we're going to toss over the index of the current camera's index, and it's a compressed stream. And here's the compressed data, which is the image itself that we just grabbed from the frame of the webcam and compressed it, and now we're sending it as bytes. Okay. And that's it. And then at the end, we're going to clean up after ourselves and free up our memory. So we're going to free our bitmap, we're going to free our JPEG image, we're going to free our memory stream, and we're going to free the compressed memory stream. And that's it. That's literally it. If there's ever an exception, we really don't give a shit. So we'll just silently say, blah, blah, we don't care. Okay? Because this is running on a client machine, and you don't want a bunch of errors popping up in people's faces. That wouldn't be very nice now, would it? Okay, so that's it, guys. That is how you, that's essentially how you capture and send a webcam frame over the socket connection. And remember, we're doing this with webcam frame command. So let's hop back over to the server real fast. When we get that webcam frame, let's Control F webcam frame. So when we get the webcam frame, we have to say we're going to get our data copy here, which is all the data that's coming through to the length of data. So the entire command, every single bit of it, every single bit of webcam frame, the index, the compressed data, we're throwing all of that into data copy. We're just copying the data to a variable so that we can fuck with it. You get what I'm saying? And the reason I say it that way is because we're going to have to segregate out the different command statements. The structure, we're going to have to get rid of this, check this and see if it's compressed, see what we got to do. We're also going to have to segregate our data, our image data, from our text-based crap. You see what I mean? So then we're going to take the image alone, decompress it, and throw it to a T-image on our server so we can see the actual person's webcam stream. Or imagery, if you will, right? So we're doing the same old crap here, guys. We're just looking, we're creating all of our data, all of our stuff we're going to be using. In this case, we have our client ID, the data, webcam form, which is the clone form of T3, the images data, which is T bytes, the prefix is length. The prefix is the stuff we're going to be pulling out, and separating out the image data from all these stupid little prefix string data types, if you will, okay? So we're going to also check if it's compressed, true or false. I have a legacy-based thing down here to handle if it's not compressed, if you guys didn't want to do that. So then we create memory streams for a decompressed stream, because if you remember on the client, we have a compressed memory stream using zlib. We're going to do the opposite of that with a decompressed memory stream, okay? Which is also part of zlib, this is the decompression stream. This is part of the zlib decompression library. So you have to create this one in order to be able to decompress properly. So we're going to loop through, get the person, check their line data, and see if it's equal to our line reference that we're currently talking to, get their client ID, check to see if they have a clone form, which is this one, obviously. Then we're going to say, is it compressed? If the position of compressed is there, then we want to get that string data copy greater than 0. We're going to say that is compressed is definitely true, because if the position of this get string data copy is greater than 0, that means true. In other words, guys, if it says compressed if it says compressed here, which it does, it's compressed, okay? It turns true, okay? So if is compressed is true, then the prefix length becomes equal to compressed. So, and otherwise, it's just webcam frame, and there is no compressed text coming with it, okay? You get why I did this? I did this in case you guys wanted to do one way or the other, okay? And I know it's a little bit of code. You can just remove whatever the hell you don't want, okay? So then I set the length of the image data to the length of data copy minus the prefix's length, which is either this or this, and it's being minused from it, which means now the image data is literally just the image data, which is the compressed data that we sent. So we're going to move data copy, the prefix length, image data 0 to the length of data copy minus the prefix length. Now we have the image data directly. So we're going to say memory stream create. We need to write the buffer of the image data from byte 0 to the length of the entire image that came through the socket to us. Set our memory stream's position to 0. If it's compressed, we're going to have to create a memory stream to decompress it, boys. So we're going to say decompressed memory stream is equal to creating a memory stream that's new. And we're going to say the decompression stream is equal to creating a zlib decompression stream, create of type memory stream, with this one up here into it. So we're going to say decompress memory stream dot copy from decompress stream 0 all the way to the end of the size. And we're going to then free this decompression stream because we no longer need it because we copied from it already and threw it into this one. Okay. And now we're going to come down and set this one's position to 0. And that's it. It's decompressed and we have the image data raw inside of decompressed memory streams. So we're going to say webcam clone form, aka this one, okay? Image, picture, load from stream, that one. And then we're going to just free up everything and be done. So once this line of code executes, basically, boom, we get their image, okay? From their webcam. I know it's a little bit to suck in, but if you guys just read through this really carefully, you'll easily understand what I'm doing. I even commented stuff, so it should be fine. But anyway, so else we have to do legacy support. Because remember, guys, up here where I put it's either compressed or it's not compressed. So the length of this string and the params1 count and the compressed and the pipe and all that will be shorter or long based on if it is compressed or if it's not compressed because you didn't send the compressed keyword along with the command statement. So else we're going to say, we're going to handle it all for legacy-based stuff, which means it's not compressed, in case it's not compressed, okay? So we're going to simply say that else, if none of this worked, we're going to get the webcam form picture.load from stream ms because we still have that loaded up here, okay? So we're going to load that from ms. And then we're going to enable button 1 on the webcam form. Button 1 is essentially the save snapshot button. So once we're done with everything on this capturing portion here and putting their image on there, we want to make sure that that button becomes active. That way you can save the frame that's on the T image, if you will, to your hard drive disk, okay? Then we're going to free the memory stream because we're done with it. And if there's any exceptions, we might want to put something like error processing frame on the status bar. So error processing frame, that could show up like down here, okay? All right, so guys, I think I've covered just about everything. Gosh damn, it's literally 57 minutes into this video. I was really hoping this would not take as long, even though I haven't done any coding. Could you imagine if I had to like sit here and tutorialize you guys while programming this? Oh man, that would have been kind of a killer on this one, unless I had a component which I could just drag and drop and be done with it. And I have like 50 of them, but I'm not going to do it. I have this code, and I think that this direct show code is actually very nice, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy the results as well. Now I only have one webcam, so I'm just going to kind of like put it off to the side where you guys can't see me, but I'm going to run the rat. And what I'll do is I will listen and I will start up the client. And once I'm connected in from my LAN address, which I need to fix also because it shows 192.122 at the end, I need to actually properly connect a localhost with that. But in any case, I'll click on myself, right click, go to webcam capture. Okay, so I think I have it set up on video broadcast right now. I'm not 100% for sure. I maybe toggled that off. Here, I'll try one or the other and we'll see which one is the actual, like, because I think if I click this one, while it's converted to this, it may not work. I think NVIDIA broadcast may have taken over. So let me go ahead and start up the camera. And as you can clearly see, it is literally real time. You can see my hands moving like instantaneously. Like it's like a pure raw stream. Isn't that cool, guys? So, oh, look at my fingernails. Yeah. That's so good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, they're so short. I bite them to the quick. I have bad hygiene, don't I? It's so I can hit my keys better. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just kidding, boys. All right. So yeah, that's that. And then if you would like, I can stop the frame captures. I can also save a snapshot, so I can hit save and it'll ask you where you want to put it. So I could put to like desktop. I'm not gonna save it for obvious reasons, but you guys get the point. So now you've got you've got this here. I can start capturing again. You can go to desktop capture. So we can be doing like this. You can go to task manager, get all that in there, and like that. Really cool stuff, right? And then I can try to, like, I don't know, just close that out, and then they all go bye-bye. Pretty cool stuff, right, guys? So anyway, that is that. That is how you perform webcam capture with our rat. So guys, again, I will have everything saved. The project file source, the project source can be available through the download link in the description of the video. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. The next time I see you guys, we will be either working on a database to have all of our rat settings fully implemented, where you can, like, because I bet by now you guys are kind of getting sick and tired of having to click run. And then once it loads up, you have to, like, click settings, listen every single time. That's getting a little bit old for me. I don't know about you guys, but a little bit old for me, right? So I was thinking it would be cool if I could show you guys how to host a locally hosted SQLite database file, inject it into your rat itself, and have it, like, either extract it at runtime or even create it in memory and save it to the disk and properly access it every single time you run your rat. That way, whenever you run it, we could have like some little toggle thing in here that says remember or save port and auto listen or something. And then every time you run the rat, it'll actually pull from that. And we can also put, like, more settings in here and maybe even make a builder section, etc., etc. So I don't know. I'll think about it. But until next time, stay frosty. Something else as well, we might also work on the audio capture. So in the next video, we might even work on this, being able to properly look at a device, pull it, the same in very similar fashion that we did the webcam. You know, grab all the webcam devices, pull them, be able to stream over whatever the hell we're trying to stream over. But in this case, it would be the webcam driver. Or it would be the friendly name. Yeah, the friendly name, right? Remember that, guys? Friendly name, same thing as this. It'd be the same thing as the friendly name of the webcam, only in this particular case, it would be the friendly name of the microphone that the user has plugged into their computer. We can refresh it, grab them, and we'll be able to set our output device to whatever we're trying to listen through. Whether it be your headset or your TV screen or whatever monitor, whatever you're using, and then you would start capturing from their computer to yours, and you could listen to them. Very cool stuff. Probably also going to add a way for you to talk to them as well. In fact, that's going to be a major point. We'll do that as well. We're going to be able to talk back to them in a way that is, we're going to be able to stream both audio from them to us and us to them as well when you click and hold a button down. It's going to be really cool. So you guys are going to love that. As far as the recording and stuff, I'm not too sure we'll even mess with any of this. We'll probably just delete it. I haven't decided yet, guys. We might be able to record to a WAV. I don't know. I'll think about it. But we just want this to be functional because we have a long way to go. I mean, we've got such a long way to go on this project. So in any case, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Here, I'll run it one last time just with this. So let me run this one last time here, and I will go ahead and start listening. And when we get somebody, I will go ahead and do a remote webcam capture, leave it on NVIDIA broadcast. That's what I've actually got my hardware set to. So I think that will work just fine. And then there you go. You can actually kind of see the thing there. Oh, there's me. Yay. La, 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 la. Okay, yeah, you get it. You get it. So there you go. That's that. Close out. Be done. Fantastic. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, yo. Have a great rest of your day, boys.